Hey guys, welcome back to the INSITE channel and welcome back to this year. We haven't really done any interviews this year, but today we have Zia in the Crosshair, a young prodigy within ESL Impact, has represented Team Spirit previously and is about to embark on her third ESL Impact season after ENCE qualified earlier this year. But firstly, how are you doing? I know Impact starts this week. How's everything going?
Hi. So, I don't know, everything is going super good. I feel like we are improving really fast and I'm pretty confident for this impact season. So, yeah, that's kinda it.
Yeah, awesome. I guess we could probably talk about like just this season in general first because you changed into you joined ENCE midway through last season after Spirit failed to qualify. Do you just kind of want to talk me first through how that all came about and how you first ended up joining ENCE?
Mm, so, how I ended up joining ENCE, it was really like unexpected for me
Mm,
also, because like there was like roster changes in Spirit, and I was about to stay, but then I got like this kindish offer, like to trial with them with some officials and stuff. So I was like asking if I can go. Then the Spirit allowed me, so I went to trial with Ants. And after like few officials, or like the officials we had, like my first official with them was against Nigma, and then it was like NIP, and we did actually really good in my opinion, like on the first official we ever played together. And it was like I was the IGL also, so it was like big change for them. And it's like, I don't know, they really liked me, I really liked them, and then they just like after games the management came to me, how is it with my contract with Spirit?
mm.
So yeah, it was pretty fast, I would say.
Yeah, because it did like I think for me when I see a roster change within the season of Impact, that shocks me quite a lot because you kind of only have like one shot as a team, and then to make a roster change midway through a season, it's quite difficult. Um, but I guess my next question would be if you had made the Impact season with Spirit like last season, would you not have left, or do you still think you would have joined ENCE regardless?
Hmm. I mean, I'm not really sure about this because it's like tricky question, because different things could happen if we
Yeah.
qualified with Spirit. And like the org could not have, like, I mean, they didn't have to change the lineup. Then it was mainly
Mm.
the like management decision because it didn't work out like it was expected. Something is gonna happen. But yeah, it's like I'm not really sure about this, like if I would stay or not. But I really liked that lineup offense. Like it was really good. So I was like,
Yeah.
this happened. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess as well. With the Spirit lineup now, was that lineup kind of being trialed and played, and were you going to be a part of that lineup during the last season when they were when they were making it?
Wait, one more time, please.
So you said that like the you were going to stay a part of Spirit if you hadn't joined
Okay.
ENCE. Would you have been a part of the roster that's being built now?
It's possible. Yeah, it's
Mm,
possible, but it would be more difficult for me. Like since I'm not like native Russian speaker, but
yeah.
I mean, I like I know Russian, I understand Russian, but it would be more
Mm,
difficult because then I would have to focus on like talking in Russian and like understanding everything in Russian, and like learning some words, of course, as well, and then I would not probably focus that much on my like game and stuff. But I mean, it could work for sure because like I'm fine with talking Russian, but it's like still like for me it's better to play in like international teams for sure, like just talking in English and yeah, full chill.
yeah, that actually makes complete sense. And so yeah, you were talking about when you joined the ENCE roster originally, you were IGLing. What was that like actually? Just like joining mid-season, you're the IGL. Was it difficult? Like, was it different team? Was it a different team structure than what was like in Spirit?
Of course, like I mean, I did how I used to IGL like
Yeah.
normally, so I was not really like stressed. I have to get like into their game plan to IGL, but of course, like I could structure like the players. Like we played some brag before the official and stuff, and I like insta saw like what kind of team they are, So it was like, but it like it like fit me as a player also, like the team structure of them. So it was pretty nice to IGL in the team. But yeah, of course, like it could. I mean, it was difficult probably for them also to change IGL like mid. I don't know how their IGL was before, so I couldn't really like do the same calls as Missy did before. But yeah, I think it was pretty good at the beginning.
Yeah. Do you just want to talk me through how you played in Spirit, like the structure of the team, and then what it was like the difference, or what ENCE played like basically when you first joined?
Mm, I feel like in Spirit, I had to micromanage a lot, like the players, because it was like I always had to say like mini things that I think it should be like individual thingy from the players sometimes. And like in ends, it felt like the people knew like what they are doing by themselves. It was just mostly like I just gave the mid round call and like beginning round the call. I didn't really have to say like
Mm.
so many things like you do this, you do that. It was like coming almost instantly like from them. Like I do this, I do that. I just gave the like call like do a B execute, and everyone just said what they are doing. So it was much more easier for me also to focus as I'm agile opper, or like I was agile opper. Now I'm just opper, and yeah, like it was difficult
Yeah.
to focus when I had to like micromanage everyone in the game, and I had to focus on my crosshair also, since opper has to be impactful. So yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that must have been really hard to then AWP as well. Like, did you find you struggled a little bit individually on Spirit then because you weren't able to focus on being an AWPer?
I think yes, it had an impact on me, because many times just happened like I was watching minimap because I want to know like what my people are doing on the map, and
Mm.
then just guy a peek and I'm just holding the angle. I am not really focused on the angle, and then I just die. And I feel like Opera should just focus on their game. It's really hard like to IHL and op. Like of course you can do it, but it's really hard. And I feel like if you are just opper and you focus on your game, the team can have much more impact. Because you can get the kills your team needs to start the game.
Mm. Yeah, so yeah, you just mentioned there, and I think I only just found out that you weren't IGLing as well. So Ada is IGLing, and you are just AWPing now. What's
Yes.
that been like? Like, is it just so much nicer and easier? Because you seemed kind of relieved when you said to me that you weren't IGLing. You were like, finally, I'm not IGLing.
I mean, I love IGLing. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that. Like I was doing IGL for like it was actually a pretty funny story, because I joined a random mix team, and it was with the Milo and Valde. It was my like second team ever, and it was with my right now current teammates. Like it was maybe 2 years ago or
Yeah.
something, and they just put me on IGL. They were like, "Bro, you are coming in this team. You are gonna be IGL." Well, like I never did it, So I was pretty like I don't know what to do really, because I
Mm.
never experienced it before, but like somehow I got into it after some time. And since then, I've been IGL almost in every team. Uh, yeah, except like Ambush, but it was like I played there with Kezi and stuff, so she was the IGL.
Mm.
And yeah, like I was IGL in Spirit, all the mixes I had, now in ENCE at the beginning, and right now I'm actually really relieved, because I feel like I can focus on my individual skill more, like and sometimes like I'm mid round calling and I'm helping sometimes with the call, because I feel like I'm really
Yeah.
vocal player since I was IGL, so it's like natural for me, so I think Aida is doing really really good job, and I really like her HL skills. Like I think she's really good player, and she was probably the best pickup we could do.
Yeah, that does like make a lot of sense. So with your AWPing now, do you like to say, "Oh, I want to do this. I want to go for this pick"? Like, is that something that you would want to do at start of the rounds, or is it maybe is it Ida? Ida?
Aida, Aida.
Ida. So is it either you or Ida calling maybe like, okay, go do this, take a pick here on like CT side, for instance?
I mean, me individually, like as an opper, I'm really aggressive opper. I feel like I
Mm,
like to take the picks, I like to take the risk, like I just go for the kill, for the entry. So of course I really like Aida for this, that when I say I want to do this, she's always like, okay, I build around you, and now she just creates around based on me what I want to pick. So I feel like it's really good and I can get a lot of impact from this. I can get the entry for the team and then we can just build around. So yeah, I always go for the picks if I can.
yeah, and so not jumping over the fact that you guys did make roster changes. You guys dropped Mank. Yeah, so it was Oxyset and I've gone full brain. Oxyset and Manka. Yeah, so you dropped Oxyset and Manka going at the end of last season, and you picked up Ida and Emsan. What were the reasons for those original roster changes that you decided to go like LF2 basically?
uh, I'm not really sure if I can say these things, but
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't really know even like about because I joined and there was already some things happening, but I'm not really
Mm,
sure about them. So then there was a roster change, but I was not really like in it yet, like I didn't really understand things because I didn't play with Manka before. So
mm.
I don't really know what was the reasons for it since I just joined and it was already, like kind of decided. But with Oxy said it was just mutual agreement, like with
Okay.
both sides.
Okay. So like yeah, just it happens. So then what were you then so you weren't really a part of maybe the roster changes that like them being dropped, but were you very like involved with the pickup of the two new players, and why was it always were you always wanting to not be IGL like when you did these pickups?
Ah, well, I was like kind of the scout for the team, I was like
Mm,
searching for new players, new talents and stuff. And I was like playing some faces with some girls and I was just like trying to look into them, like how they communicate, how they play. And
mm,
I played Face It with Emma Emson
yeah.
and I actually really liked her. Like she's really young. She's like 17 and her mechanic skills are so good and she was talking a lot and stuff, so I was like, why not just give it a try, maybe it's gonna work out. And it did. She's a really good fit for us.
Okay. Yeah, and then with Ida, so were you always looking for an IGL or yeah, so how did that come about? Were you always trialing IGLs?
mm, no, we were not trying IGLs, but we were like thinking about it, like it could like relieve me a bit, like just to try. And if you don't find, then I'm just gonna like keep continuing as IGL. Like I didn't mind it really, but it could be better, And
Hmm.
then we tried multiple people, and it was like, yeah, maybe I'll just stick to IGL still, and we just find some like good entry fragger or something, And then Ida got looking for team, so we trialed her, and we really liked her, so that's why she's IGL now.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And so just looking at this upcoming season in general, it feels like everyone's made roster changes. Like, is it literally just Na'Vi who haven't made roster changes or something like that? And so, what are your kind of overall thoughts about season 5 and like maybe your expectations?
I think it's gonna be really interesting. Like
Yeah.
I feel like many many teams that, for example, people are like thinking, yeah, they're gonna go top one in the group and stuff. They might surprise actually. Like even the teams that are not like predicted to go super high, I think they might surprise because there is a lot of like, I feel like even like these teams like Astralis, Spirit, and like the teams that are not like really, I feel like, favored in the
Yeah.
groups, like by many people. I feel like they're gonna surprise and they're gonna go maybe higher than expected.
Do you
Because
have any?
I
Yeah.
believe,
Sorry. Continue.
no,
What are
I
you
just
saying?
believe like
Yeah.
these teams have the potential to go really high. Same with
Okay.
us.
Yeah. So are there maybe like any other teams then on the other side of it that you're like maybe are rated to go quite high, but you think maybe won't?
Hmm. I'm not really sure because like even like ex-Nigma, they changed the player. I still feel like they're like really strong individual players. So I still feel like they're not gonna like drop down super much or something. But maybe there is gonna be some, I don't know, struggles or something in the groups, and yeah, we will see actually.
Yeah.
Not quite
Are
sure.
yeah. Are there? Because like as I said, there were a lot of roster changes. Were there any roster changes you looked at and you were like, "Whoa, that really caught you off guard," or like something along those lines?
Uh, I mean, for sure the Enigma change. It
Yeah.
was like quite like, like I didn't really understand. But I mean, if there were some personal problems, then of course I understand it. But in game, I feel like they were playing really good, and like I feel like they had like good structure. For them, it was like profitable, like they were winning every
Hmm.
LAN and everything,
Yeah.
so why make change like a roster change? But well, it's not my decision, and if they had some reasons behind it, then I totally understand it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is there a bit of a mentality that it's like, okay, finally, Nigma aren't the five that we know they are? It opens up the circuit a little bit. Like, is that a mentality, or do you look at it and be like, okay, they replaced it with Zaz, still strong team?
I mean, I always like respected them as a players, but I always went into the game like doesn't matter which team, if it was
Mm.
Nigma or whoever. Like I always have this mentality that I need to be better to win. So I always feel, you know, I just go with my mentality above everyone because I really want to hire it up, like just feel confident, go into the game. But of course, like I respect them as a players and I feel like they still are the same group, and they just gonna do as good, but yeah, we're gonna do
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, and just speaking a little bit, and like, because I want to talk about your maybe like your history after this. But so you guys, I was talking to you before this. You guys had an actual really good game against Navi Javelins in the trade it like tournament. You didn't win unfortunately, but like you guys did look really strong, and I think from my perspective, maybe like an increase from last season. How are you in general feeling about the team, and what are some of the changes that you are confident about?
um, well, my thoughts about the team right now are really, really positive. I feel the improvement. I can see it every day we practice. Like we are just moving forward, and we are fixing our old mistakes, and it's just going like super well in my opinion. And we can show, I think, really good results in this season. So yeah, I mean the changes. I'm not like I really like how Ida calls. I feel it improved us also because now I don't have to be stressed about my IGL
Mm,
callings and I don't have to be stressed about other things, just how I perform and what I give to my team. You know, that's the two kind of the main things that I focus now on, and I don't really have to have other things in my mind.
yeah. How
So
does Ida cool like compared to maybe what you used to be like?
I think she is for sure more experienced than me, I feel like. And she's more like cool headed, like she just decides. She's like, okay guys, we do this, we do that. Sometimes I was more like, okay, go here, like just more like full hype, but it's just how I am as a player, so it was
Yeah.
like really hard to like change. But I'm usually like you know, the hype player, like just hype everyone, like scream, let's
Mm,
go, you know, and just being the hyperactive kid in the team. Like I don't know,
yeah.
you know. So I feel like it's better actually that Aida is chill now. I feel really confident with it and like comfortable with her calling. So yeah.
Yeah, it's actually interesting you kind of mentioned that because I swear you guys have quite a young team in general. Like you were saying like oh yeah like I want to talk about you and like your school stuff after this, but like as you said, Amsan is 17, and even the two Finns like not like yeah I guess they're 21, 22, 22. So you have some like younger players in the team. How's it like playing in a team where like there are like some younger players, including yourself and stuff?
I feel it's a big vibe
Okay,
actually.
big
Like
vibes.
yeah, because like everyone understand each other. Like there is no like, oh, you are so young, you know, like this type
Yeah.
of comments, you know. So everyone is like on the same page. Like I feel like 18, 70 and 22, 21 is not a big difference. It's
Nah,
like
yeah.
the same kind of group of age. So it's like whatever. And I feel like everyone is like vibing with each other. There is no fights. There is nothing. So it's like big vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember when I played like with a 33-year-old when I was like 18 and like yeah,
Yeah.
you could tell there was a difference.
Yeah. I
But
did
yeah,
also.
as I kind of mentioned, you are still at school. Like you have a I thought you'd be done in like a month or two, but I guess it's different systems in like England, Ireland and stuff. But so what is it like playing full time, going to like boot camp, all this jazz, while still having to like wake up and go to school and like have exams? Like that must be super stressful, no?
I mean, yeah, it's been super stressful since I started playing like professionally,
Yeah.
but like I still try to like manage my time and like put time into CS, put time into studies and like just try to make a schedule for me, you know, like to do everything and have still like the focus on it. But usually like I have to be honest, I usually put more like focus and stuff into CS since it's my like hobby, it's my passion, it's my work, you know, so I want to live with it. But yeah, like I'm not doing like bad at school also, so it's like 50-50. It's I think it's fine. It's like
Yeah.
no stress. But now it's like final exams coming when the impact is gonna be played, so it's like oh well
Mm,
it's gonna be a little bit hard I feel like, but I'm gonna do it.
yeah. Yeah, and I guess maybe as well. So like that, because people would look at school and it's like it is a full time job in a sense of like the hours you do, and then you have a full time job with Counter Strike. Are there any sacrifices you feel like you're making in life to be able to do both of these things at the same time? Like, do you feel like there's yeah, like you focus your time just entirely on these two things, like school and then CS?
mm, I mean there is like some sacrifices, but it's like for example like since I started living alone and I have a lot of like practices and trainings with the team and officials, you know, so I don't really like for example meet my family that often, you know, as
Mm,
I used to. So it's like yeah, it's a sacrifice, but like I'm trying to do as much as possible to be with them. But yeah, I think that's like kind of the only one that I have.
yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm guessing it got like, did it get a little bit easier to manage the two after a while? Because you've played what would be like a year and a half. You've played professionally a year. Did it get easier to manage the two as time went on?
Yeah, I think yes. It's like I just got used to it and I did some changes in my schedule and stuff, so it's like it's got better for sure.
Mm. Yeah.
Since I
So
was young, I
yeah.
didn't really know like how to manage my time and like do things, so it was really chaotic in my opinion.
Oh God, yeah. Actually, I
Sure.
could imagine. Yeah. Um, and yeah, I remember I was speaking to Regali when he was in school, and he like, and then I spoke to him after he finished school, and he said that like he could focus so much more on the game, and it was so much easier to do Counter Strike. Basically, like didn't have to think about something else. Are you kind of looking forward to that stage where you can just focus fully on Counter Strike?
Of course, like it's
Yeah.
been literally my dream since I started playing like professional. Like I wanted to finish school, like always. I didn't want to like
Mm.
just drop out and like whatever. I will finish it somewhere. I don't know where. But you know, like I just want to finish the school, have like chill and just fully focus on Counter Strike and just do my best and get my peak, you know, like in this game.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. And I guess talking about that dream, I want to go just towards the end now, just looking like throughout your history, how you basically got to where you are now. So firstly, just kind of talk me through how you got into women's CS and playing competitively. Was it around season 3 with MVP? Was that the start, or was there even stuff before then?
Um, well, I started playing like female CS when I was maybe like 14, 15, and it was actually my first team was full Czechoslovak lineup, and it was with a cat, and we just found her like in a female hub. She was like just playing solo faces and stuff, and it was like with some other girls. Uh, it was actually also Miley there for a little bit, if you know her, Czech
Yeah, she
player.
plays for Violet, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. You know, and it was like we played a bit for there and stuff, and just like it was my first team. Like I just started there, like to play in like a female CS, so people noticed me more. Then I played, I think, in ambush with Kezi.
Mm,
There was, I think, Kezi, Leah, Joanna, me, and Kiki. That was like the first lineup that was in ambush. And after I had like some mixes and stuff, I had some trials for orcs, but it didn't really like end up anyhow. But then I got my own mix, and we got like taken by Spirit. So that was my like
mm,
first big step into like the orc scene, you know, like
mm.
female, where I got like organization and I tried my best to do things.
Yeah. So where did the IGL part come in? Because you said you played with Ambush with Kezi, so she was IGLing there. So did you start IGLing like in the Czech scene?
No, it was actually in the Czech and Slovak scene. It was scat idling. Then it was
Mm.
Skezi in ambush, and then it started like the amount of mixes I played in and like stuff, you know. And then
Mm.
it's been actually a while. Like I don't know. I've been IGL for like 2.5 year maybe around this time. So,
Mm.
but I played in
Yeah.
a lot of mixes before, and I was always IGL there. So
Yeah. How do you so like how did you find you were developing your IGL style when you were with a mix? Like did you find it maybe quite difficult to, I guess in a sense, improve yourself?
of course, like it gave me like the view on the game more because I had to because I had to like focus more on the people what they are doing or like
Mm.
about the overall things on the maps. I had to notice it much more than I did before. So of course it's like it for sure I got more experience as a player since I did this role, and I think it can just help me also in the future. Like even I don't do it now, like now, but I did it before, so of course it helped me like to improve me as a player. You know?
Yeah. Okay, awesome. And then I yeah, so you said there like when you played for Spirit, it was like your first time doing organization Counter Strike. Like, you just weren't playing with mixes. Did it feel quite good to what? Okay, yeah, like you also played with Ambush before, but like in Impact, you played with this is the first time.
Yeah.
Did it feel quite good to maybe legitimize what you were doing, that you were actually playing for an org that like boot camped you, for instance?
Yeah, of course. Like it was like everyone was more hyped to do things and stuff than in mix. You know, like it was
Mm,
like now we have a goal. Now we have a someone who is supporting us. You know, we have a stable like place where to go to have a boot camp and stuff like this. So of course it like helped a lot like to improve and
mm.
have the environment we need to improve.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so when you first qualified with MVP, if you hadn't qualified and like, you had no organization, you don't qualify for Impact, like what happens to a team then? Are you just kind of a bit fucked and just have to wait till next season?
Well, we have to just play cash cups and
Yeah.
pray we're gonna qualify next season. I guess that's it you can do in female scene right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really
Yeah.
hard, I think, to get orc without actually being in the impact or like getting a good orc, you know.
Mm.
Like probably you can get like some orcs, but it's like for sure not like tier 1, tier 2 orcs.
Mm. Yeah, that does make sense. How is because you guys obviously played in the open qualifier to qualify for this season, and I ended up watching quite a bit of that open qualifier, and it did seem like the general quality had risen quite a bit. Is that do you share that opinion as well that open qualifiers are a lot harder now than maybe in like season 3 or 2 or whatever?
Yeah, of course. Like the teams, I feel like the female CS, like it's improving a lot, a lot. Like it's not what it used to be. Like I feel like the level of the players went so much higher. Like, and it counts to everyone. Like even mixed teams, even like teams who has organizations and like overall, I feel like it's just getting higher and higher. But it's like better for us because then we have actually like I don't know, it's like the competitive vibe, you know, like
Yeah.
it's so much more nicer to have like closer games and stuff. You know, it's just like I'm really happy that female CS is actually going higher in the skill level and like the level overall in CS.
Yeah. Do you feel like everyone's kind of bouncing off each other and like pushing each other to be better now because the skill like it used to be maybe quite top heavy. I think you guys were maybe like a victim of that when you're on Spirit. You kind of struggled, but now everyone seems a lot closer. Like, is it a lot nice that everyone's pushing each other a little bit in that way?
Yeah, of course. Like everyone is trying to like like you know like you see that Nigma, Navi, they're like super good and you want to just beat them. Of course, you're
Mm.
gonna try to improve and beat the like top teams. It's like the same as in male scene. Like of course people are trying to improve themselves like as individuals, as team, as everything, you know, like also their mentality, like everything is just going up, you know, so we can compete and
Yeah.
not get destroyed, of course.
Yeah, awesome. And I think just to wrap it up, I don't think I specifically asked you about your expectations for this season. So where do you see yourself? You said you might there might be a lot of teams that surprise people. I think you mentioned Astralis and Spirit. But where do you place yourself? You're in Group A. You're with Big, Nip, kind of ex-Nigma, Guild, and Astralis. Where do you place yourself? Do you see yourself going to the finals?
uh I mean, me personally, I feel like we can do really, really good, and I feel
Hmm.
like we could take the first or second place for sure.
Okay. Well, I think that's a
We're
perfect place to
gonna
end it. Yeah.
fight for it.
Yeah. I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited to see the season. I think it's, as you said, it's going to be so competitive. I think it's going to be a lot. It's just getting, yeah, it's more competitive than other seasons. And it seems to be staying on that path. But Zia, thank you so much for joining me. Second time lucky. We got there eventually.
Yeah.
But I wish you the best of luck this week. And thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. And I will see you next week for another interview on the INSITE channel. And we are getting back this year. So make sure to stay tuned on the channel. But with that, Zia, thank you very much and see you next
Thank
time.
you. Bye bye.